Welcome to the 6th episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, Heroes vs. Villains. Thank you to everyone who's watching this early, and to the people that are watching this whenever I make it public, well, thank you too, but also, is Britney free? God, I hope so. Before we begin, let's look at some of the artwork that you guys have sent in. Firstly, let's go back to the first episode's Maxi Challenge, as Nathan on Instagram sent in his idea for Raja's and Bianca's looks on the Drag on a Dime challenge. Next, someone did all 8 looks for episode 5's runway, following the guidelines that I gave in that video. I love their interpretation of Katya and Yara's look. It's like Boulay Brothers' alien human centipede. Next is this interpretation of Akira and Asia's looks, and I don't know what I love here more, the long ass nails or the fact that each one has a pearl or bead necklace that kind of match. Next is this look for Jinkx and Roxxxy. I absolutely adore how the colors chose and match together, but also how well they go individually with the queen's skin tones, and then how it all was tied together with these gold accents that both work with this like brown orange and with the blue. And lastly, maybe my favorite interpretation is of Sharon and Fifi's look. It's simple, but the details are so fun. Firstly, the fact that the heel is a tiny axe is amazing. Then one of them is holding the key to the room, the other one is holding the yellow ball that we see Jack throwing around the hotel in the movie. It's simple, it's concise, it's to the point, it's referential and true to the original. Well done, everyone. The episode begins with the 6 safe queens from the previous episode, so Ben, Bianca, Bob, Alaska, Naomi, and Raja in the workroom. They start out by talking about the fact that out of the 6 of them, only half have won a Maxi Challenge. Raja points out the fact that Bianca still has not won anything, to which Bianca responds by saying, well, everything we do in groups, it's not my fault my teammates suck. Which makes Dela break the fourth wall and look at the camera, clearly not amused. Naomi then goes, so when do you think we're gonna compete for ourselves? And they all respond at once, so Naomi cuts them off and says, because I think that when that happens, maybe the 6 of us should look out for one another. Nobody has the time to respond as the high and low queens begin entering the workroom. Alaska gasps quite loudly when she sees that Tyra is gone and exclaims, wait, one of the winners is out? Who took them out? To which Yara responds by saying, she kind of took herself out. Alaska in her confessional goes, now that Tyra's out, shit's getting real. Anyone could go home, but it's not gonna be me. Cue the intro. The episode continues with banter between Bob and Katya. Bob first congratulating Katya and Yara on their win, but then also saying something like, you are nasty, disgusting, and you're going to go far by doing that. And Katya says, yes, I will, baby. I hope you know what I'm referencing. We get a confessional from Sharon saying that Katya was not the first queen on Drag Race who went the not afraid to get down and dirty route, as that was famously Sharon herself. And she continues by saying, it's time for me to get back to my roots if I want to leave a mark on this competition. We get a message from Ru, well, okay, this time it's Ru and Michelle, saying, you know, there are 2 things I don't like about you. What? Your face. Ladies, keep your friends close and your frenemies even closer. Because in this competition, even the mirror has 2 faces. Yeah, and one of them is cracked. You bitch. Fifi and Sharon look at each other immediately, recognizing the message from their season almost word for word. Before they can tell the rest what the Maxi Challenge is, Ru comes into the workroom, again with Michelle. The 2 of them confirm Fifi and Sharon's suspicions about the challenge. They're doing the Frenemies singing challenge. They're also doing it in the same themes that they were in the previous episode, and they have to write all the lyrics. All that they get is the melody. Each group has a minute and a half to create their stuff, but they will get some help from the guest judges this week, Chloe and Hallie. I hope I'm saying her name right. The girls get right to writing their stuff down. We have a couple of really confident groups in Ben and Alaska, who are both singers, who have both written and performed their songs. And then also Sharon and Fifi, of course they're confident too, they've already done this challenge, but they were not good in it the first time. The rest, well, we get a lot of shots of the queens looking into empty air. nobody writing anything down, and silly music playing in the back. Jinkx gets a confessional saying, "Listen, I'm a singer and I have a specific style that I do great, but my partner is Roxxxy Andrews." And here the producers will put the clip of the beginning of Roxxxy's verse from All Stars 2. Katya and Yara have an idea to do their song in their exaggerated characters, as in Yara would go full-on stereotypical Latina woman, and Katya would become, well, Yekaterina, a stereotypical Slavic woman. Obviously, they're doing this to mock the set stereotypes. Asia and Akira go the easy route of making it about pageants, but one of them proposes the idea that they should do an Alyssa Coco tribute, sort of, as in make it so that one of them won a certain crown, but then the other was given the crown. Bianca and Raja decide on a more talk and less sing approach to their performance, where they just read each other, and Bob helps Naomi come up with funny lines to jab at him with, but they're not confident, as neither one of them are singers. It's time for the girls to do their songs for Chloe and Halle. Asia and Akira are struggling a little at first, as they spend more time explaining their act than actually performing it, so much so that they run out of the 5 minutes that they are given, or rather that all groups are given. They're only able to get a couple of parts in, they sound fine together, nothing special, but they don't get many notes back, as again, they did not give much to the guests. Bob and Naomi crack up the girls with their jokes, and while they may not sound so great, it's fine. They're told that they should maybe lean into the fact that they're from the same season, and that Naomi lost to Bob. Bianca and Raja are okay, but they're told that they could try to sing a little more. Katya and Yara kind of confuse the two, because at first they don't really understand the point in one of them doing their lines in Spanish and the other one doing it in Russian, as all comedy will be lost there if the majority of the audience cannot understand what they're saying, so they have to go back to the drawing board. Ben and Alaska just amaze the two with their singing and their creative and funny lyrics. Fifi and Sharon decide to redo their original performance, but obviously make it better. They know what they're doing and they're having fun with their performance, making fun of each other, but also making fun of themselves from back in the day. Jinkx and Roxxxy lean into the whole one of them is a singer and the other one is Roxxxy, so it's pretty funny. Obviously it's referential, and their dynamic is so fun to watch compared to the hell show that was season 5. The next day in the workroom, before they start to get ready, Ru comes in again to give them the last bit of a twist for the day. He tells them that this episode there won't be a classic runway, and that, in fact, their looks won't matter much or at all, as all the judging will be done just on their performances. The look queens are kind of worried, but most of them decided to be a little more fashion-y, let's say fashion-y, in general in the challenge as well, so not many people are actually worried. And while they're getting ready, Akira says, "So are there people that think that they or somebody else is in the wrong team?" Fifi says that while she does not appreciate how the show decided to choose her worst moments for her presentation on the show, she understands why she's the villain. But she was a little confused with Naomi being one of the villains. Raja says, "Well, she eliminated one of the fan favorites on All Stars," and Naomi goes, "And I would do it again." Bob goes on to mock Bianca and says that she should 100% be one of the villains, and they cackle together. It's time for the main challenge. You already know who the judges are, so let's see how the queens do. The first pair is Asia and Akira. They come out in their general drag, let's say, but one of them is purposely a little orange in the face. Akira makes a joke about Asia and the butterflies, and the judges are in general underwhelmed and kind of confused. Ben and Alaska are next, and they just kill it. They make jokes about everything, they harmonize well, they both sound great individually too, their looks represent them perfectly well, and they have the judges in stitches. Bob and Naomi seemingly bring the mood down next, not doing anything wrong, but just not sounding right, especially after performing right after Ben and Alaska. Yara and Katya are next, and they switch their routine up a little. This time they're both doing it in English, but with heavy accents and maybe a phrase or two in Spanish and Russian respectively. The judges are quite confused where the jokes are, and the two of them singing together is a big no-no. Bianca and Raja sound like Mariah and Whitney compared to Katya and Yara, and they make the judges laugh here and there. Jinkx and Roxxxy are next, and they also leave the judges laughing, but Roxxxy's general lack of musicality in comparison to Jinkx does make the judges cringe here and there. The last pair, Sharon and Fifi, have the judges laughing from the get-go as they come out in the same looks costumes they were wearing on season 4, although this time Sharon is the angel and Fifi is the devil. Welcome back, ladies. When I call your name, please step forward. BenDeLaCreme and Alaska, Sharon Needles and Fifi O'Hara. You represent the best performers of the week, but only one team will get the win. BenDeLaCreme and Alaska, congratulations, you're the winners of this week's challenge. Sharon and Fifi, great job as well. You're safe. The 4 of them leave the main stage and Ru goes, and now it's time for the judges' critiques. Going down the line, Asia and Carey first are asked to explain why they did what they did, and they say what we have already heard in the workroom prior in the episode. The judges are confused why they didn't just go with being themselves. Bob and Naomi are told that, yes, they had all the jokes there, but there wasn't much musicality present. With that, they also wish they leaned more into their connection, as in them both being from season 8. Yara and Katya are told that they kind of failed completely, as they did not sound good and they were not even that funny. They also criticize the fact that it makes sense for Yara to lean into the stereotype for a joke, but Katya not actually being Russian, but only doing a character that's Russian like once a year, made a weird dynamic. Bianca and Raja stood out for being funny and for being the only two that went with as little singing as possible in a singing challenge. The judges kind of excused them because they know their weakness and they adapted accordingly. And lastly, Jinkx and Roxxxy also are told that they adapted very well. At times, Roxxxy brought down their performance, but it wasn't anything fatal. The girls are sent back into Untucked so that the judges can deliberate. Silence. I've made my decision. Bring back my girls. Welcome back, ladies. As you perform today in teams, this episode there will be 2 queens going home. The contestants are kinda shocked, but not fully, because they expected this when they saw that, yet again, there were 2 winners. Jinkx, Monsoon and Roxxxy Andrews. You're safe. Bianca Del Rio and Raja, you 2 are safe as well. Katya and Yara Sofia. The judges want a complete refund on your Foreign Exchange Act. I'm sorry, my dears, but you're up for elimination. Bob the Drag Queen and Naomi Smalls. Although you were strong competitors on season 8, your performances today were very weak. Asia O'Hara and Akira Davenport impersonating Alyssa and Coco is not even an act for the back rows. Bob and Naomi, you're safe. Asia and Akira, I'm sorry, my dears, but you're up for elimination. Prior to tonight, you were asked to prepare a lip-sync performance to Beyoncé's duet with Shakira, Beautiful Liar. Ladies, this is your last chance to impress me and save yourselves from elimination. The time has come for you to lip-sync for your life. Immediately as the song starts, Asia and Akira start putting on a clinic, matching their moves that they rehearsed during Untucked, and both showing their amazing dancing and lip-syncing abilities. Katya and Yara are trying to keep up with them, but they're performing quite differently. Katya is trying to be sexy while doing Beyoncé's parts, and Yara is going for a little more literal dancing when doing Shakira's. Ladies, I've made my decision. If the 2 of you ever have to perform against one another, it will be a very hard decision for the judges. Asia and Akira, Shantae, you stay. Yara and Katya kind of understandingly nod their heads. Katya, Yara Sofia, my 2 miscongenialities. You are and will always be heroes in my eyes. Or fan favorites. And they all laugh at this. Now, sashay away. And that's it. That's the episode. Yes, I did do it. Yes, I did eliminate Katya and Yara prior to the merge. But hey, try to tell me that they would do well in a singing challenge. And try to tell me that they could beat Asia and Akira in a lip sync. Please, expose yourself like that if you want. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And, well, thank you for watching.